Hello, everybody. We are back once again for yet another receipt chain for the Cafe and Diner archives. This one is AAA01 through C-AAA04. We're actually going to get into a cryptid case this time. I am so hyped for this. Oh, I can't contain my excitement. Anyways, we are here with employee number 53. Apparently, Heelfront is the name of the cryptid in this particular case. And here is what the first receipt says. Well, we've got some coffee to brew. Strong pot of coffee too. Someone has some somewhat illicit footage of an out-of-this-world upcoming product that we can't let go live on TV, and that's precisely what's being threatened. The footage is set to go live on the 2 ETH. I don't know what that means. Gives me plenty of time to swap the cold coffee for hot. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gee, Shill, out of this world? That good? No. Of course not. What it is unfortunately a pretty good shot of Mrs. Heelfront getting a slice of pie. Now you know our customers and you know how they love their privacy, so it's up to me to get this 24 blurred. Also, gotta figure out what's up with Mrs. Heelfront. Double also, why is SMP not shaking this up? If we're hearing about it going bolts, I can only assume SMP has already cleared it for broadcast. We could leave this to them, but I think the SMP might be trying to really shake things up going off of Secret's intel. It might be good to make sure things remain unshaken. I'll do some digging and some planning. If Flower, Secret, or the healer can fill me in about Mrs. Heelfront, that'd be aces. So there's a lot of terminology in here I don't totally understand. Like the ETH part, I know this takes place in August, but I'm not totally sure why it's E0295. There's the Flower, Secret, and Healer. I'm not totally sure what that is either. I'm assuming those are code names for other contacts or employees. Not sure, but apparently 53's name is Shill. I can pick that out at least. Next we have C-AAA02. It says Baltimore for Mrs. Heelfront, 8 for Mrs. Heelfront. I'm not sure who Mrs. Heelfront is, so I had to kind of look into this one. I know that it is a cryptid, obviously, but I wasn't sure which one it was, but I was able to figure it out after going to Clue 3 on the archives website, where it says Caribbean customers with no face and a penchant for pranks. So through that and a little bit of research, I was able to find out that this is a cryptid called Duin. Easy. So, receipt number 2. This is from employee number 26 and not 53. You called and I've answered. So let's talk about our friend Mrs. Heelfront. Fair warning, demons aren't exactly my thing, so some details might be off. Mrs. Category, so dangerous or believed to be dangerous at the very least. Heelfront because of their giveaway feet which go heel first, their toes in the back. Baltimore named the Duin. Duin are, at least in Caribbean folklore, thought to be spirits and or bodies of unbaptized children who have died. Of course, you have to take that with a grain of colonization salt, as Duin was around before the English were. So, what do we really know about these little dudes? Well, they're from the other side, most likely a Maimon. It could also be Mida. Regardless, definitely dead kids though. The specific conditions that make them into Duin are unclear, so if they are from a Maimon, could be regional, so only children who die around the Caribbean Sea. Now that's an interesting point, see? Yeah, these little dudes pop up around places surrounded by water. It could be kids who've died at sea, kind of like red-eyed children. It might be pretty closely related. Baptism most likely has nothing to do with how Duins come about, but still it might factor in. So what do Duin do? Well, they're portrayed in folklore as sometimes pranksters and sometimes child snatchers. Occasionally a bit of both. Not taking any chances, we have them at a misses because of their possible child snatching behaviors. We do know they have the unique ability to mimic the voices they've heard. Some legends say this is how they lure children into forests. Duins are incredibly rare on the flip side and, from what I understand, are even rare on the other side. They live or socialize in small groups no larger than 5, and there aren't many groups of them. As Duins are a pretty uncommon sight, this AAA case Shudder is working on is interesting. Plus, it's not an alive Duin, it's footage of a dead one. Although I do see why they're trying to say this footage is of an alien, Duins do look sort of extraterrestrial, especially this far decomposed. My only concern is that the rest of this Duins group may still be alive and actively trying to recover the body of their fallen buddy, or get revenge. Hard to say. That's a little bit concerning. Child snatching cryptids are pretty, frequent in folklore. A lot of it is mostly to scare kids from being bad, make them listen to their parents, which is not totally surprising. The references to like red-eyed children is pretty cool to me because there's a lot of callbacks to different cryptids, and because I've been working with cryptids so much due to the cryptid iceberg, I'm familiar with some of them. I was not familiar with Duin, never heard of that before, so that's a really cool backstory that I'm learning through the Café and Diner archives. Let's see where this goes next in AAA03. We're back to 53, and it says, "How time doth fly." So I've done what I can to blur out the footage of Mrs. Heelfront so she doesn't get all embarrassed on national TV, but there's definitely more to this picture than I originally thought. I've had a little chat with our new friend Santilli, or should I say firefighter. You catch it on now? No wonder they didn't want to stop this midnight flick. They produced it. It's always been a psyop. Not sure the full details other than firefighter, baseball, milkman, and schoolgirl put this little film together. Looking at the negatives, it seems like it was originally 22 minutes. I was able to cut it down and cut it up, so it's only 17 now. Now here's the strange part. I thought I put everything back, more or less how I found it. So where did those other 5 minutes go? What did those other 5 minutes show? I don't know. I can only assume whatever it was something dangerous. Electrical interference, ultra wide, a wake-up call to the masses. You decide. I know that the real Ray Santilli is either in on it, is forced in on it, or is just a salty puppet. I'll tab out tomorrow once I know everything is in place, but expect a possible update and an attack plan on the 2 ETH. I don't know what that means still. No idea. Alright, lastly, we've got CAAA04. This is another little research one referencing the last ticket we got. It says, "I've got knackle strings to hold me down. Salty puppet. Santilli." Easy peasy. Alrighty, last one from 53. Tab paid for AAA care of 53. Astoria's 23rd Division uniform attempted to disperse footage of a deceased Duin on live TV on the 2 ETH of August 1995. I was able to infiltrate and recut the footage to be more or less harmless. The original footage was supposedly filmed in 1947 following the Roswell incident. The footage I found, destroyed, and replaced was pretty clear it was shot more recently than that. Maybe 1992 or thereabouts. So I doubt there is still a Duin body that needs taken care of. The footage was being held by Ray Santilli, but he sure didn't sound very British to me. Also, he matched the profile of A23's firefighter from uniform. Where is Ray Santilli, and is he even a real person? I don't know. All I know is the footage that is being distributed by uniform. The case for the footage reel was labeled at 22 minutes, but I only found 17 minutes worth of footage. Someone or something must have gotten to it first. Possible theory I've been kicking around, they still have that 5 minutes of footage elsewhere. They've shown the TV studios the 17 minutes and are, or were, planning to slip in those extra 5 minutes. But why? Electrical magic? Maybe. Mass panic? More likely. Obviously, I wasn't able to find those 5 minutes of the missing film, so there's still a chance it'll air on the 2 ETH. I'm hoping once they review the footage and see the little rubber alien body I spliced in, they'll panic and switch plans. For now, though, I'm tapping out of this case. I've done what I can to protect the social awareness of the other side, and now that I know Uniform's the owner of the footage, I don't really want to stick my nose in their business. Not alone, anyway. So, this is the closeout. We've seen the very first full-blown receipt where someone from the Cafe and Diner archives is encountering, or is thought to be encountering, a cryptid, something from the other side. And I love how this plays out, where you can kind of see the interplay between different organizations and how they try to screw with each other. And in this case, seems Astoria, the 23rd Division uniform, decided they were going to try and release a video of a cryptid, the Duin. With the Cafe and Diner archives intercepting it, they're able to kind of mess with it and make it so that they can't really use that footage to scare people anymore. Love that. Very good way to start out with the actual cryptid receipts, and I am so much chomping at the bit to see more. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Sweet nightmares. I wanted to take this time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so greatly appreciated, and I can't thank you enough. If you'd like to become a Patreon, there is a link in the description below, and if you'd like to become a channel member, just go ahead and click that join button and join the Truth Sleuths and Horror Hounds. All channel members and Patreons receive 24-hour access to videos prior to their public release and exclusive updates on my progress. After a certain tier, you can request that I do a certain topic or movie review, or you can even request that I do a game live stream, whichever works for you. At the highest tier, you not only get to choose the topic in which I cover, you get to either co-host the stream or the video that I do that covers said topic, no matter if it's one or multiple. Of course, this is not obligatory. If you want to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it, and once again, thank you so much.